This is Tim Albright with AVNation with the Road to ISE. Integrated Systems Europe happens the 3rd through the 6th of February in Barcelona. And with us to talk about SDVoE and their stand is Stephane Tremblay. Welcome, sir.
Hi. Nice to talk to you, Tim.
Nice to talk to you, Stephane. You guys are over in Hall 5 E900. 5E900. We've known and followed SDVoE for a number of years. You guys have had quite a few advancements in the last couple of years. So this time around, Stephane, what will we find in the SDVoE stand?
Well, this time is quite industry breakthrough, I would say. For the longest time, SDVoE was 10 gig or nothing, right?
Yeah.
So at this ISE, what we are showing is actually a new concept that we call FlexLinQ. FlexLinQ is based on SDVoE, but instead of relying always on a 10 gig interface, that system will adapt to the available bandwidth that you have. So you might have less than 10 gig. For example, you have a 10 gig switch, but your cable is a Cat5e because it's been in the wall for 30 years now, so you won't be able to train at 10, but you will likely train at 5 gig. So the system will auto-adapt. Same as if you are to connect that FlexLinQ onto a 1 gig port, well, then you only have 1 gig, obviously, because the switch is only 1 gig. So the system will automatically detect your available bandwidth and compress the video accordingly. And it's done magically. By magic, I mean there's no user intervention here. It's automatic behavior.
I appreciate the definition of magic in this instance. Typically in technology, when somebody says magic, you don't want to know. So I do appreciate that. What was the thinking behind, making this move to more of a FlexLinQ type system?
Two main drivers. First one would be for installations where the cables were already deployed. It was sometimes very difficult to assess if the cable could sustain 10 gig speed, because what is by definition a 10 gig cable is a Cat6a for 100 meter or less. But if you happen to have a Cat5e in your wall, you won't be able to do 10 gig. So that was an unknown that was tough for system integrators where they were upgrading legacy installation, for example. So that is driver number one. Driver number two was, okay, a 10 gig switch is not necessarily expensive. At the price per port level, it's more expensive than a 1 gig, but at the price of the installation, the endpoint is already higher price than the switch port. But when it was time to do aggregation, so you go from switch to central switch to another switch, this bandwidth requirement of 10 gig was a bit stressful on the switches to do aggregation. So now you can tune down the bandwidth required. And because it's still high quality, it's still low latency, you get the benefit of SDVoE, but without requiring the full 10 gig bandwidth. So that was the requirement number two. So we're quite happy to show that. It's really the release at ISE. It's really brand new. It's not shipped yet. We are still fine-tuning the parameters, but please come and see us at ISE. You'll have the live demo of this technology.
Very cool. Again, the Hall 5 E900, Hall 5 E900 is where you can see that FlexLinQ. Stephane, not everybody's going to ISE, so if they're not going and they want to follow along with everything that SDVoE will be talking about that week, how do they do that?
They go on www.sdvoe.org. This is the place to go where there's tons of video for education, but it's also the place to connect with us. And also at ISE, one thing I didn't mention is, yes, Semtech is showing the FlexLinQ technology, but we also have partners that are exhibiting their SDVoE product inside our booth. So there's Netgear, Broaddata, IDK, Aurora, Kramer, TT Group, and DVI Gear.
Oh, wow.
So all these vendors are in our booth showing their products, targeting a different verticals, but still always using SDVoE technology.
Very cool. All right. Hall 5 is where we'll find SDVoE and Stephane. So thank you guys so much. For us, for AVNation, go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. And follow along as we also head to Barcelona for ISE 2026, the 3rd through the 6th of February. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.